Hello and welcome to the Advent 7 podcast. I'm your host, Trey, and today I am joined by my best friend, your best friend, our illustrious Captain Andrew.
Hey, what up?
And we're here to talk about the first 3 episodes of the anime anthology series Star Wars Visions, brought to you by Disney Plus.
Finally. It's finally here. We've been waiting for so long. Oh, it's so good.
We're here to anime has finally made it into the main zeitgeist so much that Disney can't deny it anymore.
Yeah, it exists. It's now in the mainstream. All you normies out there that can't stand the sight of anime, well, too bad. It's still in your peripheral vision. Welcome.
Okay, before we get started, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in today. If you're new here, we hope you enjoy the show. If you do enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and share this all over social media. YouTube just wants to see that it's been shared. Help us.
Please. We need the support.
Once you're done here, why not check out some of our other content? We've got our original Star Wars podcast that we did back in May. We even mentioned Star Wars Visions in that episode, so give that a look. And if you like gaming, which I hope most of you do, you can check out some of our other streams, including our Smash Bros. Stream we did a couple weeks ago. Last weekend? It was last weekend, wasn't it?
It was last weekend, actually. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Or Andrew playing the demo for Voice of Cards, an exciting card-based RPG that looks really cool. Watching the Nintendo Direct, I immediately thought, you know who liked these games? Professor Shinobi and Drew.
Yep, Drew specifically, like, he came to me after he saw the Direct and said, oh my god, this is my game. This is my type of game. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely got Drew written all over it. He's definitely one for tabletops.
Yep. All right, and with that all out of the way, let's talk about the perfect fusion of anime and Star Wars. Star Wars Visions, episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Light spoilers for the first 3 episodes, so you have been warned. Spoilers are in effect.
Right, yeah. We're just full-blown going into it here. We're just going to talk about our favorite parts, moments, characters, everything like that. I do want to start by saying that this anthology series reminds me heavily of Halo Legends. For those that know about it, have heard about it, or seen it, Halo Legends is also like an anthology series made by like a myriad of different anime production companies that all tell like various stories throughout a certain universe. That's what they did here with Star Wars Visions. And I'm incredibly happy that it's just a no holds barred, like, just various different tales that could happen at not just any point in time, but at various points of time throughout Star Wars history and at various different parts of the galaxy. Like, it feels so limitless, and I'm very happy about that. The art style rapidly just changes between each episode from each production studio. They're not all doing the same exact thing, and I'm ecstatic about that. I love seeing that. So
we've also got another comparison we have is the Gotham Knights, Batman Gotham Knights. I can't remember if it was a movie or
yeah, I remember that.
It was like 4 anthology like shorts, but it was like 30-minute shorts put together into a movie, and they had it was 4 different animation studios taking on their take on the Batman, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was super badass.
Speaking of Batman, though, well, first I want to point out, in case anyone who doesn't know, Star Wars Visions, these anthology shorts are all under 30 minutes, which is both good and bad in my opinion. It's good. It's good because it's gonna make a tighter stories, and the animation budget can be used to its fullest. Because when you have a full 30-minute anime, you have to pick and choose where you want to make the good shots. But in like 15 minutes, you could just put it like, okay, every shot is going to be a picture frame now.
Right. Yeah, like with a longer episode, some studios would probably just have to put in some padding here and there. They would have to take up time because just not every single frame can be gorgeously drawn. But in this case, they were able to take their budget and just cram it into like half the amount of time. So you have just a visual spectacle with every single episode, and I adore that. That's great.
Oh yeah.
But the downside, in my opinion, to doing that is that, at least for the first 3 episodes, I've only seen the first 3 so far. That's why we're talking about today. The plot for each episode can feel almost a little bit too rushed at certain points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, it felt like there were certain moments where we could have elaborated on these main characters more. Why do I care about them? Where they come from. There's a lot of questions that I think each episode brings up that it purposely does not answer, because not just it doesn't have the time, but also it wants to focus on something else. And I get that. I respect that. But there's definitely a lot of parts throughout each of the first 3 episodes where I felt, okay, we probably should have spent a little bit more time like elaborating on the premise here before just going like full blown into an action scene and just like slaying stormtroopers left and right, which is still cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, whoa, what is going on? What am I looking at?
Yeah. That's one of that is definitely a hindrance in shorter stories. It's like people have to build a connection instantly, or at least give us enough basic setting to be like, okay, so, which is why, luckily, the very first episode, which has got a connection to Batman of all things, is very good, and it plays well with the short concept, because episode 1, the Duel, is brought to us by Kamikaze Doga. Anyone who doesn't know that name might know some of his very influential works, including Batman Ninja. He's the man who brought us anime Batman.
Oh. Well then, that explains a lot, actually.
Yeah, he used this style of animation when he did Batman Ninja, and you pay attention, it's like, oh wow, and also for the trillions of JoJo fans out there, he is the man responsible for JoJo Bizarre Adventures opening number 2, Bloody Stream.
Okay. Is that the I'm not big on JoJo, but is that the opening that has like all the 3D-esque like models of the character that are just like,
yep,
with all the visual effects, and like it has that same kind of like paintbrush look to some of the effects?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this is very much that, like, I could tell with the animation style, it's like they took 3D models and then they did 2D paintbrush strokes over it to give it that like old-fashioned tale / like noir kind of look to it. So
yep,
yeah, that Batman Ninja short was the first thing I thought about when I saw it, and I thought, well, I mean, they must have just really been inspired by it. I did not know it was the same people, so that's really cool. I love it.
So yeah, we've got that, and this short actually works really well if you have a little bit of cinema history knowledge, because this is flat out an homage, a parody of Seven Samurai, or The Magnificent Seven if you only watch Westerns.
What was that? The Magnificent Seven was the adaptation by what's his bucket, the dude who made Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Well, he made a recent version of that.
Oh, okay. That was like an old Western tale, and he just did like an adaptation of it. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Like, where do you see these similarities?
Everywhere, kind of. But the main thing is that, let me give you the Disney Plus description of the episode. A wandering stranger with a mysterious past defends a village from powerful bandits. Literally Seven Samurai.
Yeah, that's pretty much the premise.
It's literally Seven Samurai. Plus, we have the awesome opening. Also the opening shot, but also when the Empire basically shows up to destroy this village. The first thing that happens is the young lord in charge of this town has snipers and droids and assassins and bounty hunters ready to fight, and it's like 6 of them. So it's like, I see what you did there.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, so with the main characters addition, that rounds it out to a nice sharp 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Okay, I did not count how many bounty hunters he had, so very good attention to detail.
Oh yeah. And I love, since this whole thing is done in black and white, except for lighting. The lights on some of the characters were the only things that had color. So
yeah.
It was really cool for laser fires. One of the robots had just glowing lights on it. It was just like, the splash of color just makes it so much cooler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it took me until maybe like a few minutes into the episode when I finally realized, and I said it out loud to myself, wait, are the lasers colored? And I'm staring there. I'm watching intently. I'm like, oh my god, the lasers are colored. That's cool. I was like, I don't know why, but that's so cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the story goes on, and we get some of the coolest shots, including a Force-based lightsaber catch.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like the mythical sword catch that anyone who does it in like a joke movie, in a comedy, would be like, I caught the sword, missed the sword completely.
Uh-huh. But in this case, like, he caught the blade dead on from that crazy, like, murderous Sith lady.
This murderous Sith lady, by the way, lightsaber umbrellas, anybody?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's just so cool. It's very Japanese, isn't it? Like, the villain has this menacing umbrella that just also happens to be made out of lightsabers. Sure, why not? Go for it.
She murdered that. She got that one person she killed, just like got stabbed with an umbrella full of lightsabers. Oh god, it was so bad.
Yeah, top 10 most gruesome deaths in Star Wars right there. That was pretty awful.
And the duel is just really good. It's just so, and because then it just proceeds to the wandering who we presume to be a Jedi is just like, I don't have a stake in this fight. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
But it's just like, fine, I'll go help.
Yeah, well, he's like the wandering traveler, and he just wants to be left to his own devices, but he's forcibly reeled into a situation and can't just turn a blind eye. So he gets involved, as any badass hero does. So I want to start by saying that I actually watched the first episode with my parents because I was visiting my parents for my mom's birthday, and I said, okay, guys, like, I'm going to show you something real quick. I didn't tell them what it was, but I said, it's Star Wars related. Just keep an open mind, because I know they're not really into cartoons. But I put it on, I cast it to the TV with my phone, and we watched the first episode. And when it got to the point where the main character did the blade catch, my dad says, oh, he's a Jedi. And of course the Sith lady too is like, oh my gosh, it's been a long time since I killed a Jedi. And then she goes for him, and then he flicks his sword out of the hilt and boom, like pulls out the red blade. And my dad says, wait a second, that's not a Jedi color. and the thing is,
like, I'm no Jedi.
Yeah, no, like, he was like, I never said I was Jedi. But when my dad said that out loud, like, oh, he must be a Jedi, like, something just clicked in my brain. And I thought to myself, oh no. And he pulls out the sword, I'm like, oh crap, I knew it, he's not a Jedi. No. But the perspective where he pulls out that sword is just like one of the coolest things. Like, dang. What was the lightsaber he was holding? Was the hilt actually like a samurai sword hilt?
It was literally a katana hilt.
That's so friggin' cool.
Yep.
It's like, dang, why has nobody thought of this sooner? Sure, why not? Like, the hilt doesn't have to be like hyper technology. Like, make it stylized. Just go for it.
Yeah, so we get an amazing Sith on Sith combat, which we almost never see. The only times we've seen it is when Darth Maul fights Palpatine in Clone Wars Season 5.
Does he totally eat it in that fight?
Oh yeah, definitely. You can't-
Right on.
But yeah, so this is an amazing fight. I love the villainess's design, especially the more armor she removes, revealing her face. Her hair is all it's almost like an afro, but it's just like she's almost got an Indian Indian from India. I hate that I have to
Well,
clarify
like her
that.
hair is like forming into like these tufts. It
Yeah.
almost looks like fire in a certain way. Yeah, it was like very flowing but menacing, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's just a lot of crazy fun shots. They fight on a log going down a river, then they end up at a.
Oh my god, that was the second where I was like, okay, this fight has just broken to like level 11. Like they are literally dueling on a moving log on a river headed towards a waterfall. This is about as like samurai duel-esque as you can possibly get. Like the hype is real.
Yep.
that was so cool. I thought to myself, it doesn't have to be on a moving log, but they did it anyways. Whoever thought of it is a genius. I love it.
Yep. And then the fight ends at a shrine, and he does the cool, uses the smaller version, his smaller lightsaber to end the fight by stabbing behind him, and I'm just like,
it's like that was smart. Yeah, like that was very clever. I definitely thought that fight was overall well done. There's several different stages to it, and I also liked how his R2 droid, once he was fully fixed, then he came back and shot all those missiles, and those were animated very well.
R2, this astromech coming in for the save after he needed to be recharged. It's just like, yep, this is awesome. This is awesome. And then just the sheer badassery of him just having a coat full of red kyber crystals.
Yeah. Holy cow. Like, that was the part where I thought, okay, he's not a Sith. He might just be collecting these kyber crystals. You know, he might have just ended up fighting a bunch of Sith, and he's like, okay, well, these are mine now. You know, like, they'll come in handy. Certainly not going to leave him with the likes of you, because he gave one of the kyber crystals to the head of the village before he left.
It would scare off anyone else who would try to invade.
Right? Yeah, the second, like, it's a kyber crystal. The second somebody sees that, they're like, oh, no. No. It's like that scene in the new Venom trailer where Venom goes, oh, shit, that's a red one! And shrinks back into Tom Hardy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, just like that. Somebody would say a kyber crystal and be like, oh, no. We're going to move on to the next village. Y'all have a nice day.
Yeah. So that's the Duel. It's fantastic. According to fandom, they have this ranking of all 9 episodes, because all 9 episodes are now streaming on Disney Plus in case you want to watch them all now.
Right. It's
well,
just
not now.
available
Finish our show,
front.
then go watch them.
Yeah. Listen to us rant, please.
But the Duel is actually ranked number 1 by fans.
It makes sense. Yeah. I can totally see that. I think that the Duel was a fantastic choice for the first episode to kick off this series.
Yep.
It has all the nuances of a noir type film. It has lots of influences from, you know, whether it's like Seven Samurai or it's from, you know, that paintbrush aesthetic, that grunge look, even takes some from the Batman Ninja anime that came out a while back. I think that for many reasons, it's just a very hype action type of episode to kick off with. You want to start strong with a show like this, especially since I'm sure in the eyes of Lucasfilm and Disney, Star Wars Visions was still a pretty risky endeavor. It's just
risky enough.
Yeah. They've done anime influenced things before. They've done animated shows before. But typically when it comes to animated Star Wars series and miniseries, they go the way of 3D Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels. They've never quite done an anthology like this. So
Yep.
I could see how maybe they were thinking like, we gotta start off right. We gotta kick off strong and lead with a story that's just going to engage viewers from the get-go. And that's what the Duel is. So, by the way, I also love the title itself. It's just very simple, straight to the point, The Duel.
Yep.
I'm no expert on Japanese folklore. Oh man, I'm already gonna get shit for that. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure in Halo Legends they also had an episode called The Duel. So I think just one-on-one fights like this are just, like they're very, you already get the impression hearing that title, oh man, like this is gonna be edgy. Like,
oh yeah,
like cool edgy. Yeah, I want to check this out. So, and fun fact, I think the Duel from Halo Legends is also done in watercolor. So it's,
there you go.
it's a story between it's a story about the Arbiter, and he has to have a duel with another one of his alien Covenant race that kills his family. So just it's that type of Japanese dramatic storytelling, right? So
yeah, like anytime a show decides, all right, we're gonna have an episode called The Duel, that that it has to hit hard. It just has to. It has to live up to a name like The Duel.
Yeah.
But moving on to episode 2, we have Tatooine Rhapsody. Brought to us by Studio Colorido. Anyone who may not be, you might be familiar with some of their works. Whisker Away, an anime movie that is currently on Netflix, Penguin Highway, and Andrew, one of your favorite things that came out in the last year, Burn the Witch.
Hey! Oh, they did do that! Hey, that's awesome! Okay. Yeah, no, Burn the Witch was fantastic, so no wonder. Okay. Yeah, I did kind of get that impression watching the second episode that the animation style matched something along the lines of Burn the Witch, so that's cool. I dig that.
The
Penguin Highway is also an amazing movie. For anybody who's never seen it, I can't recommend it enough. Fantastic drama. Go check it out.
If I'm not mistaken, it might be on HBO Max, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it might be. I think it is.
So the description for this episode: a band with big dreams must save one of their own from Jabba the Hutt and Boba Fett.
Right. Yeah. It's an interesting premise on paper. But, I will let you give your opinion on this one first. 'Cause I think this episode is drastically different from the Duel in many ways. Like, this is like entire
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. This is a lighthearted, almost goofy episode. I kept laughing at Boba Fett because he basically looks like a chibi. So I'm just like, chibi Boba Fett.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
they kind of shrank him.
But I do love that his official actor is voice acting him.
That's right. Yeah, when I heard his voice, I was like, oh my god, that's just Boba Fett. That's brilliant. So
yeah, it's great that they actually went with that for the dub. I mean, it makes sense, but it's just like you never know when you get a dub of something that has other voice actors, like the other anthology series that Disney is doing right now, What If? It's like they can't afford to use all their Marvel voice actors, so it's 50-50 sometimes.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting how with animated adaptations like this, I think that you're not always going to get the actual actors that played the characters in live action, either due to time constraints, lack of budget, or something else. Sometimes live action actors just aren't interested in doing voice acting. So you don't want to take it for granted that, just because this actor played the character's role in one iteration means that they're also going to do it in another iteration. Like, that doesn't always happen. And I remember when I found out that in Kingdom Hearts, like, most of the animated character from the Disney movies are not actually the same voice actors who voiced the characters originally, because you can't always get Tom Hanks to come in and do every role he's ever done.
Yep.
I found that out. I was like, oh man, that sucks. But I mean, you wouldn't really be able to tell, because sometimes the actors they pull in to like mimic the voices of these well-known characters, they do it pretty well. So
Yeah.
it's just thoroughly appreciated when you do see that, oh hey, that actor actually came back. They cared enough about their character to do this voice role that's animated. So I think that it also stems off of the whole idea of, animated storytelling still is not as highly respected as live action storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like that's just how it is. So it's really nice to see that for Star Wars Visions, the production team really pulled out as many stops as they could.
Yeah. But yeah, Tatooine Rhapsody, it's a very fun story. We have a fallen Padawan, and he's just, I don't know what he was running from, but whatever he was running from, he's never going back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he joins an underground rock band who features a Hutt. It's like a cousin of Jabba the Hutt is one of his band members.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, I also like the 3-headed alien who plays a 3-set weird drum set. It's just like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The band itself is awesome. And my personal opinion, both dub and subbed, the song is not great, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's the best way you can put it, really. I agree with that. It's fine. It's not amazing. There's parts of it I'm like, well, it sounds a little bit generic. But, I mean, they accomplished what they set out to do with this song. Like, they got the job done. So.
Yep. It kept them from being executed by Jabba the Hutt by Sarlacc Pit, because that was definitely what was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, they accomplished the goal of not dying. I suppose that's the most you can ask for in their position. Yeah, I think that Tatooine Rhapsody had a really interesting premise, and the idea itself is very promising. For me specifically, I couldn't get behind the character designs very much. Trey, you and I have talked about this before. Well, for me personally, I have a hard time getting engrossed seriously into stories that have more exaggerated character designs, like Tatooine Rhapsody's character designs. And
yeah, these are a lot softer moe designs.
Right, yeah, it's that moe influence, and moe like has a place in anime, and it doesn't just have to be for cutesy slice of life anime and high school girl anime. It can be put in Star Wars and still work. I think that Tatooine Rhapsody works, but personally, I had a hard time being invested in these characters, not just because we didn't really have a lot of context on who they were, what their backstories were, but also because like every time I looked at them, I just thought, man, I feel like they could look a lot cooler, and that's just me. I'm not saying that like, that everybody needs to believe that, there's a place for it. But to me, I'm always going to get more invested in stories that have cool character designs.
Yeah.
Like if the story itself wants to be cool, and Tatooine Rhapsody wanted to be cool.
Definitely.
I don't think that's that. I don't think that's up for debate here, because like it was all about a rock band, for crying out loud. So
those instruments were cool though. Those were some cool space instruments.
That is very true. I like how he turned his lightsaber into a microphone, which the audio nerd in me just pointed out immediately. There's no cord in the mic. There's no cord in the mic. But I mean, it's the future, so who like who cares? Like, they probably got something weird going on with it. But yeah, like for me, it's kind of similar to how I'm not a big My Hero Academia fan, because at least in the beginning of My Hero, like the character designs for that show are also a little bit exaggerated. Not to the extent of this one. It's not like Mo, but it is a little more simplistic compared to like typical superhero stories. So I respect My Hero for what it is. I watched first couple of seasons, loved it. But I have a hard time getting fully invested in shows that want me to take it seriously. If it's going to be a comedy, then Mo is fine. A better example, actually, Trey, is probably School Live. You know about that one, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, the zombie school one. Yeah, that's actually a great, an even better example for me, where I could not get into that show whatsoever after the first episode because, the cute character designs just threw me off. And when it revealed, oh, hey, it's a horror story, I was just like, yeah, but I don't care. I just don't care. That's just how it is. So, oh, hey, we got a comment in the live chat here. Bobby Perez says, IMO episode 3 was downright terrible. I love Tatooine Rhapsody and would love to know the backstory of Jabba band member. It seems like he could be a great average Joe hero. That is totally fair. Like, I will respect that. Yeah, I mean, like, there clearly is a lot of potential for these characters to have, like, long, dedicated backstories. And that's what I felt like we were not getting from Tatooine Rhapsody because there just wasn't enough time for it.
Yeah. Speaking of it, well, before we do that, according to fandom, this episode is sitting in the middle. It's a 5 out of the 9 episodes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I could see that. Like, I think that Tatooine Rhapsody, it might be a very polarizing episode because it might be one of those stories where either you love it or you hate it. So
yeah,
and I can thoroughly respect people who are into this because I could see what it was trying to do, and like I said earlier, I think that what the premise was for Tatooine Rhapsody is very promising.
Yeah. So now we move on to the last of our batch of episodes. Episode 3, The Twins. Brought to you by the savior of anime, Studio Trigger.
Trigger! Coming to save the day once again with Kill la Kill Star Wars Edition.
It's like Kill la Kill, Promare, Darling in the Franxx. throw a coin at anime, you'll probably find a Trigger one.
Right. I just gotta say up front, look, I fully dig the aesthetic of the twin sister. Like, I just love her character design. I'm all about that, the long blonde hair, the headbands, the multiple lightsaber whips, her personality. I was talking to Matt about this earlier, and Matt clarified to me. He said, "You realize, Andrew, she's just Satsuki in Star Wars form." And I said, "Oh my god, that's exactly why I like her." Oh no. So it's just, yeah, she is entirely my aesthetic. I loved that, but also, visually, it's maximum cool. That episode by Trigger, they are just going for maximum cool the whole time, and whether it's like the perspectives that they do, it's the X-wing flying in and all the different ways they animated that. Or the lightsaber whips, that kyber crystal exploding, the part where the male twin slices a whole freaking Star Destroyer in half, and then just goes warp speed.
He jumped through the ship. I forgot what the name of the maneuver was now because they did this in Episode 8, the Star Wars Episode 8, like the official movies. But yeah, so the description of this episode: twins born into the dark side clash aboard a massive Star Destroyer. It's literally 2 Star Destroyers welded together with a Death Star cannon in the middle.
Yeah.
Because what's Star Wars without something that can blow up a planet?
That's basically what it is. It's just 2 Star Destroyers melded together with a planet-destroying cannon fueled by a kyber crystal.
A very large kyber crystal. I will say that.
Yeah, like a normal one definitely wouldn't have that type of capability. But yeah, like overall, I think that what makes episode 3 of Visions work is that the premise is actually very simplistic. They tell us up front through a lot of visual cues that, hey, these are two twins that were born out of the Sith, and they just have one purpose in life, and one of them is like full hardcore, like just living for it, and the other one has a breakthrough and decides to leave it behind. And this is the battle that ensues between them. And Studio Trigger is incredibly infamous for their action scenes. So, like, all of episode 3 is just Trigger at their best, doing what they do best, which is just ludicrous fight scenes, and it's a lot of fun.
I want to point out there's just this one random shot early on in the episode. It's just the way the camera moved through a hallway, and I'm like, oh god, Trigger, calm down, bring it down, we just started.
Yeah, right? It's like, Trigger, look, we know you guys are called Studio Trigger, but don't just pull it right away. Let us ease into this. I also...
Just every shot. Oh my god, every shot.
I like the scene where the male twin, like, he's just trying to walk out of the ship, and of course the stormtroopers stop him. And when they fire off their stun lasers, he just stops them right then and there. And the camera perspective pans and shows the glowing rings. Like, man, that was whoever thought of that shot was brilliant.
Like, stops the rings, then throws them against the wall. It's like, all right, our duo. That's the name of the droid, by the way. Our duo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The male twin, I feel like Studio Trigger just decided, you know what? We want to make our own Luke Skywalker.
Yep.
So they did. they gave him
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, they basically made an anime Sith version of Luke Skywalker who went to the bright side. Let's see. Oh yeah, Bobby Perez says, episode 3 was downright terrible. I respect that. Why do you think that is? I do want to hear why specifically you weren't into episode 3.
Please leave your comments below to enter them in the live chat. Figure out why we're arguing about this. Because, by the way, the Twins is rated number 3 out of the 9.
Okay, yeah, I see here. He says, good points. The twin sister was a baddie, and the crystal-powered suits were cool, but that egregious act of not only breaking our physics, but Star Wars physics with the hyperspace jump was wow. Dude, yeah, that's that. Again, yeah, totally agree with that. You know, that is pretty much what Trigger does. Never watch Kill la Kill, because I think you might have an aneurysm watching that then, because physics breaking action scenes is kind of like everything that this studio is all about. Like, they literally formed Studio Trigger with the idea of just being defiant of everything that animation in Japan had been up until that point, and they've been doing this since 2012, I believe, when Kill la Kill came out.
2013, actually.
2013. Okay. Yeah.
It's like the year we met.
Yeah. So like there was also that scene like right before the male twin like slices the ship in half. He's riding on top of his X-wing, which by the way, I guess he can breathe in space. I guess they both can. Sure.
I mean, they're made by they're experiments. They probably made it so they could breathe.
Yeah. Like they're aliens. Like the chick has like freaking 6 arms, so like who cares?
I think that's part of the suit. I want to say it's part of the suit, but who knows?
But like he's riding on the ship, and so his X-wing does a 180, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love how Studio Trigger, like with all of the budget that Disney gave them, took the background picture of the two Star Destroyers melded together and just used After Effects to flip it. In the laziest way possible. And I'm like, oh my god, Trigger, you guys you keep doing it. You guys keep knocking it out of the park here with all of that money, and you still find ways to be as cheap as possible. I just love it. I can't help but laugh and have a great time when I see stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's at this point I've just stopped looking for realism in certain types of shows. So
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta say I love him using the kyber to basically make a rainbow lightsaber. I'm like,
holy
that's
cow.
dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
I like the rainbow lightsaber, like lightsaber whips, like.
Yeah, I was still confused about that. It's like she definitely had lightsabers. Is she bending them with the force to make them whip like? I have no idea.
What's going on anymore? I don't know. Yeah, Bobby says, I explain them breathing in space as them just holding their breaths like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan holding their breath in the beginning of episode 1. Yeah, I mean, like, there's probably, like, some type of lore out there that explains that Jedi, or, like, just Force wielders in general can probably hold their breath for longer. That's very possible.
Once again, check out episode 8 of Star Wars, where Leia pulls herself from the void of space back into the ship.
Okay, I nearly had an aneurysm when I saw that in theaters. I saw that, and I think I was the only person in the theater who just busted out laughing. Like, I saw, like, literally, you see the picture of Carrie Fisher, and she just floats through space, frozen in one pose, and I'm like, oh dear God, what happened?
It's a meme.
It's a meme now. Oh no. It was not good.
But that's anything else we want to mention? Because I'm all I gotta say is Trigger has one more episode they're doing, so we still got more to talk about for Trigger.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're doing another one. Okay, I totally forgot about that. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that because I've only watched the first 3 episodes for this discussion today, so I'm gonna immediately go watch 4 through 6 for our next podcast where we talk about episodes 4 through 6 within the next few days or so. Yeah, I'm excited to see what else Trigger has in mind because, again, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, what I like the most about Star Wars Visions is that it is just pulling stories from various edges of the Star Wars universe, and no holds barred. It is just doing whatever it wants to, visually, thematically, storytelling-wise. What I love most about Star Wars is that it doesn't feel very limited in its potential for storytelling. And I believe that a lot of us feel the same way about Star Wars in general, which might be why the response to the new trilogy was so negative, is because it felt like the new live-action trilogy didn't take many risks. But that's
it's like
why
it did and it didn't. It did the funniest thing. It didn't take any risk at first. It took the biggest risks on the second one, and then the third one backpedaled so hard.
It's like, no, we're gonna moonwalk like right out of this. Yeah, like I just appreciate that Lucasfilm and Disney, they are taking some time away from big budget movie releases. They're not gonna make like a new trilogy for a while, like a mainline trilogy. They're just gonna focus on like these side stories and stuff, because I think that, in my personal opinion, this is where Star Wars really shines. Is like the side stories, the stuff that you wouldn't really know about unless you looked for it. So
yeah, there's a galaxy full of options. There's not just one story to tell. There's trillions.
Yeah, it's a galaxy far, far away. Oh my God, they say galaxy far, far away in episode 3.
At the end of episode 3, it's just like
I'm just like, Trigger, you freaking nerds. Like, you guys are all massive Star Wars nerds. We get it. You're gonna take every opportunity you can to make as many homages as possible. Your main character is gonna be freaking Luke. You're gonna quote all the most famous lines, and you're gonna give him a lightsaber and an X-wing and basically another R2-D2. Go for it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's the extent that we can talk about the first 3 episodes for. We intended on making this kind of a short podcast because each episode's only like 15 minutes or so. But we'll be back with 4 through 6 episode discussion very soon here. So
yep.
I guess I just want to close by saying, once again, The female twin is just maximum aesthetic. I want Trigger to make an anime figure of her. Please, please,
Like,
please make
Disney,
a figure.
sell the figures. You will make all of the money. Then you can pay the people who make the Marvel stuff. God.
Give me the PVC statue that's like $200. I don't care. I'm broke, but I'm still gonna buy it because it's just super cool. I love everything about it. So, thank you, Trigger. You know me. You know me too damn well.
Yep. We like to thank all of you. Thank you all for tuning in today.
Thank you, Bobby. Said, big thank you to Bobby Perez. We appreciate you, man.
We'll be back within the next few weeks to talk about episodes 4, 5, and 6. If you like what we did here, please click the like button, hit the subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell us what was your favorite episode. Who do you think did the best from these studios? What do you think these are canon? Because that's been a part of the discussion online, whether or not these are going to be canon.
That's a good question. Yeah.
And for more news on all things anime, video game, and comic book related, please follow us on Twitter, Facebook. We have a subreddit, and you can also check us out at avin7.com. From Avin7, I'm Trey, and I was joined by...
it's Andrew, your boy.
And we will see you all next time.
Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Oh, may the force be with you. I guess, sure. We'll toss that one in.
This is the way.
This is the way. Yes, this is the way.